Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to be covering the last ship in the Burrows line that I haven't covered, the Tier 7, the USS Hughes. So, before we start off the video, here is the ship build I'll be running for this video. And it's the exact same build as the Tier 10, but yeah, it's the exact same. So, that's the build I'll be running. Before we actually talk about the ship in general, I know I say this a lot, guys, but clearly it's been working. So I thank you a lot for those of you who have subscribed already. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, I would greatly appreciate it, as it does help the channel out a lot in terms of growth. And of course, then I can do this a bit more consistently. And if you do enjoy the videos, guys, make sure to like them and potentially even share or leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. But let's get into the USS Hughes, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a Sims class destroyer. Or at least it's the same class of ship as the Sims at tier 7. So, what does it have? Again, same exact as the other ships in the line, and I know some of you guys have watched the videos on the other ships. The smoke generator, which you can turn on and off whenever you want. You do have some delay if you turn it off to turn it on back again. And we've got the sap. Now, in this case, the sap does slightly less damage. I believe so does the HE. The pen is a bit worse, and the shell travel time is also worse on the shells because they are archy. And the damage is lower because the guns are 127 millimeters instead of the 137 millimeters you get at tier 8, 9, and 10. Does that mean the guns are not good? No, they do quite good damage overall. You'll see this match we'll be playing, and we'll try to do more, well, not more damage, but we'll try to do some damage. The torps, guys. So this ship, I believe, has the most torps out of the 4 ships. The Hughes, the Osborne, the Christopher, and the Burrows. The Hughes actually has the most amount of torpedoes, but it does get quite slow torps at 55 knots. They only do 11,000 damage, but they go 9.2 kilometer range, so they are usable. And, well, you got 2 racks. So in an emergency situation, when someone is rushing you, you do have the potential, at least if he's low HP or he's a tier 7 battleship or something, you can potentially even kill it. So, the speed boost on the ship, even though it is the same as Sims this class, it does still have the 10% speed boost from the main line here. So overall, quite decent. It also gets better concealment than the USS Sims at 6.4 versus the 6.6. But you do lose out on the top speed that Sims gets. I believe you are 4 knots slower than the USS Sims. But we've got SAP, which is going to help us a lot against a lot of ships because we get to pen 36 millimeters of armor, which actually helps us also against tier 8s and some tier 9 battleships, depending on where we're going to aim on them and depending what kind of armor layout they have. Now, this part of the match isn't too exciting, guys. Nothing really much happens. I'm happy to showcase you a bit of what I'm doing, though, because sometimes I do end up skipping the match and you guys get to miss out on what I'm thinking most of the time. In this case, what I'm thinking is I'm trying to contest the cap here, trying to play the objectives, shockingly. Trying to play it a bit slower than I usually do because we are in a tier 9 match at the end of the day. By the way, the Aguirre is a new test ship, I believe. I'm guessing because I've never seen it before, so I'm going to assume it's a test ship. I'm not so informed as to what kind of test ship it is. You can see me playing a bit for fun here, opening up instantly when things are in range. You only have 12.3 kilometer range, which actually for a tier 7 destroyer isn't too bad. It's pretty decent. So I think you have slightly less range than the tier 8, which sits at 12.5. I think every tier goes up actually at 0.3 or 0.2. Ooh, so the room comes around the corner. Now, I did play this game 20 minutes ago around. So it's kind of fresh in my mind, I guess. But as you can see, the points are inverted, just to let you know. We are losing out on the caps and the ship kills right now. But we'll try our best to respot this drone and try to, well, do some damage to him. He does outrun my torps because they are a bit slow, and I didn't expect him to go full speed when I should have, I guess, because my team is running at him. So we're going to try to get some sap damage. I know my team is going to spot him any second now because the rune is trying to kite away. So we get that spot for us, and we're going to start opening up on him a bit. Not too much, though. We do have to be a bit respectful of him after... Well, we're not going to use our entire smoke on him, right? The island is next to me. I'm going to turn off the smoke because there's an island. I can sit behind it potentially. And I'm not spotted, and I'm still able to shoot him a bit. His secondary range is actually pretty high on this rune, by the way. Pretty interesting. But anyway, so far we're up to 22,000 damage, which might not seem like a lot, but we still have our full HP. So we're just trying to play the match a bit slower and trying to, well, preserve our HP for the later game, especially since we are losing a bit. And we are tier 7, so bottom tier in this case. So you can see me trying to shoot some sap here. We're doing 2.6k that salvo, which is kind of huge against the tier 9 cruiser. 1.7k. This is all pretty decent damage. We all want that, right? 1.4 is okay. He's getting saturated at this point, so we're not going to get much damage when compared to our initial shots. But let's see if we can finish him off. We do end up getting our first kill of the game, which might actually be, I think, the only kill of this game at 35k damage. So not too bad, I guess. We killed a tier 9 cruiser, not fully ourselves. We had support from our teammates, or else I don't think we're gonna be able to kill him that fast, right? So thank you to our teammates. We start opening up on this Pommern here, and here I play a bit, well, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I'm not really paying attention to the Aguirre, and of course the Pommern secondaries, and this Akizuki pops up at 7 kilometers from me, which a bit surprises me a bit. But luckily we're able to go dark in around 4 seconds, so we just stop shooting and we're dark. So here you're gonna see me turn out. The reason I'm gonna turn out is I don't want to play aggressive into the Akizuki and the Pommern, because if I get spotted I'm gonna get smashed, especially since the Aguirre might actually turn back as well. And I am RPF located. Funnily enough, I thought the Akizuki was the one running RPF, but it was actually the Aguirre. Anyway, so the Akizuki last seen was sitting in smoke, so I ended up trying to torp him here. Hopefully we'll land a torp or two, maybe kill him, potentially. But, you know, with these 55 knot torps, might be a bit hard. But Akizuki doesn't maneuver that well, so maybe we always have a chance. So I did try to torp anyway. So here you see me going a bit south. My goal here is to potentially farm this Aguirre. How am I going to do that? I'm going to get behind the rock. And I choose to kite away here just in case the Aguirre runs at me full speed. I was a bit scared of that because Akizuki might crossfire with him with the Pommern secondary. So why not play a bit more safe? Get behind this rock. And we're able to... Well, luckily, we get a torpid on this Pommern. Luckily, because he did turn out again. I guess he didn't have his Hydra running, because they are a bit slow, so he should have had an easy time dodging it. But luckily we get that 8k damage, which isn't too high, but 8k damage will take because it's free damage at the end of the day. So far we're up to 50k damage. You see me smoking up to try to get some damage, hopefully here, but he does instantly go dark. I leave the smoke to spot him again, but at this point I think I'm almost wasting the smoke. I guess this is not too bad here because we get to hide behind the smoke and instantly go dark when he starts looking at me. So in this case, we instantly go dark and we can turn around and run at them again. Now, I know the points are inverted, guys, but try to bear with me here. We are winning at 451 points at this point. We have the 2 caps. We have chip advantage at this point. So our team turned around the match pretty easily. And we see the Akizuki spotted. So we're going to start shooting him at 9 kilometers. Even though maybe with these American arcs we might not hit that many shells, when we do, we're gonna do pretty decent damage because it's sap. And you can see here 1,600 HP right there, another 1,900 HP. So pretty decent damage, another 1,700 HP, and some 200. We got pretty decent damage there. I mean, not wonderful, but pretty decent. And overall, that's what the ship is, a pretty decent ship overall. Not something that's gonna like break the game or anything. I don't think it's anything. It's good. I don't think it's as good maybe as Burrows at tier 10 or Christopher at tier 9, but overall it's still a pretty good ship, and I think people might enjoy playing this one still, especially if you've played USS Sims in the past. I know this one's not that similar to USS Sims, but if you've played it, this one might be a little fun as well. And you see me here, unfortunately, smoking up for nothing, because I thought the Aguirre is going to keep reversing into me, so I panicked a bit with the smoke. But that's okay. We can turn it off in around a few seconds, like that. And we retain 41 seconds on that smoke screen. We did waste it a bit there, but realistically in this match, it's not going to end up making a difference, luckily. So it's okay. We try to open up here on this Aguirre to try to get some damage on it. As you can see, 1.8k damage. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I don't think I have to read the number every time, guys. I'm sure some of you are watching, but maybe some of you are listening audio only. We're getting decent damage. It's not bad. And it might be a bit boring for some, because you are playing mostly a main gunboat destroyer, where the guns reload every 3.5 seconds and you only have 4 guns and you got that single gun dispersion, and you know, it's still, to me, it seems pretty decent, at least for tier 7. You know, we can't ask for too much for tier 7s, and this one seems pretty decent at the USS Hughes. And I know most of you now, if you are grinding the Burrows line, probably if you're grinding it all the way and you didn't free XP to tier 8, you guys already have your hands on the Hughes. Maybe you already grinded through it, potentially, probably. This doesn't take that long, or you may be considering to get it. What do you guys think of the USS Hughes? I love asking you guys your opinions in the comments, because even though I may not reply, I do read all the comments. Some comments I'll reply to, not all though, but I do read them all. So if you have any opinions on the USS Hughes, what do you think about it? I'm definitely interested to hear what most of you guys are thinking. At least, you know, for me, it's a pretty good ship. But I want to know what you guys actually think. So here you see me pushing up a bit more aggressive. The game is pretty much over, so we're just farming as much damage as physically possible in this case, and we're on 84k damage. Try to remember that number. We're gonna try to farm a bit on this Iwami Iowa combination we smoke up, which unfortunately is gonna nerf my reload, but at least it lets us not deal with those Iwami secondaries at these ranges at 8 kilometers, because they might actually end up hurting us. So we're just trying to farm the literal broadside battleship. This is as free as possible as a damage farm situation we can possibly get. So that's pretty awesome for me, not for the Iwami, I guess. But again, the damage isn't going to tick up super fast. It's not like you're going to get 6k per salvo, right? It is a tier 7 destroyer at the end of the day. But as you can see, we're consistently getting some damage. At this point, we have 3 caps, 800 points, 500 points over the enemy, and there's only 2 ships left. A guaranteed win, one might say. But it is a guaranteed win. Our smoke screen runs out, which means we get an instant reload buff because we're running the Fearless Brawler. Now, I believe some people might like AFT on this line. Overall, I haven't found too much of a reason on it. But you can definitely run AFT maybe on the higher tiers. On the tier 7, probably not that much, just because the arcs are worse than the tier 8 and 9. I tried to get some damage on this Iwami, but unfortunately he ends up dying. I leave the Io on 1k HP. Funnily enough, if I actually kept shooting him, I would have potentially actually killed him. But if we kill the Iowa, that's probably gonna be the game. We get maybe a K more damage. Please. Boom. Big damage, 400 there. But I think our team's gonna end up killing him right here. And that's GG. For personal score, we ended up doing 116,819 damage, 261 shell hits, 1 torp hit, 2 caps, solo caps, a kill, and 2 spotted ribbons. We got an E. That was the first game in the Hughes, but we did get an E. We got top of our team actually with a tier 9 game, which is pretty good overall. 2.2k base XP, that's pretty nice. Detailed report. We got 29k on that Rune. And then we got 28k on the Iwami, 22k on the Sea Aguirre, 14k on the Iowa, 11k on the Pommern, 7k on the Akizuki, and 4k on the Cheshire. As you see, pretty much almost all our damage is from SEP, and we did get 1 torp hit, and we got some damage received as well. For credits and XP, this is the screen. For my commander build for the Hughes, we've got Preventative Maintenance, Last Stand, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Fearless Brawler, Adrenaline Rush, and Main Battery NA Specialist, and Grease the Gears. For equipment, we've got Prop Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Engine Boost Mod 1, and Main Armaments Mod 1. For the Armour Layout, it's actually a standard, so we got 16mm for destroyers. Pretty standard, guys, nothing too special. For the ship characteristics, we've got 17,100 HP. For artillery main guns, we have 4 127mm, 12.3 kilometer guns with a 3.5 second reload. We've got that SAP with 2.7k damage this time, and HE, which does 1.8k damage but still has a 6% fire chance. For torpedoes, we've got 11k damage torpedoes with 9.2 kilometer range. We got 55 knots though, so they're quite slow overall, but decent torp range regardless. So it makes them a bit usable, but the damage is also pretty low. With a reload time of 95 seconds, we do have the most torpedoes out of all of this new line of destroyers. We got 8, so that's pretty cool. For emergency situations, for maneuverability, we have 36.8 knots, 500 meter turning circle radius, and 2.7 second rudder shift time. Is it? Ooh. Quite a lot slower than the USS Sims, I just realized, but that's okay. It does make up for it with I think the concealment's also actually a bit better on this one. Yes, slightly. And you also get those smokes, which is really nice, and sap. So, for the exterior camouflage for the USS Hughes, now this one is actually another pretty cool one. Same color style, but a different camo as well than the rest. So pretty awesome that the art team decided to add some camouflages on these ships. For the alternate camo, it is a more gray version of the first one. So, pretty standard. Some viewers were asking, how do you switch the camos? Is it a mod? No, you just, I believe, have to complete the Halsey campaign, I believe. If not the Halsey campaign, then it could be in a collection, but I'm not so certain anymore because it's been a while. I'm sure someone in the comments can explain. I believe someone already did in the last video. But that is pretty much it for the Hughes video. Where is it available? Tech tree. If we click the tech tree just to take a look here, it is the last ship to cover in the Burrows line, guys. So that makes 4 out of 4. I've covered every single ship in the Burrows line for a full review. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what ship you want me to feature next, of course. But so far, I hope you enjoyed the regular uploads. And if you did, do leave a like and a sub. Well, a like to the video and a sub to the channel, because I would greatly appreciate it a lot. And of course, it allows you to know when I upload. Because it'll show it in your feed, and potentially you can even join my Discord server where it will ping you. If you don't want, you don't have to, of course. But if you want as well, you can share the video because it will help me out a lot as well. But that is up to you. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, of the USS Hughes. Now, how is the USS Hughes overall? It is pretty good. Overall, I would say it's pretty decent. It's not something game-breaking, of course, but it is pretty decent. You got that sap, which really helps it, with a pretty decent gun reload, pretty decent gun range. So in my opinion, more fun personally than the Italian one, I believe. But I haven't really played the Italian Tier 7 Destroyer, the Luca Tarrigo, I believe. But this one seems pretty decent with that smoke, with the sap. The sap isn't as fast as shells, but overall still pretty decent. And the smoke is good. And you got some more torps in the tier 8. Even though they are slightly worse torps, you still got some torps to help you out. That is pretty much it for the USS Hughes video, guys. So hope you enjoyed and hope it helps you grind out the line, I guess, to the Burrows. And I hope overall the 4 ship videos. I'm not sure which ones you watched. I assume some of you guys have watched all 4 of the ship reviews. So let me know if you enjoyed me covering the line top to bottom. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Big fan.